Well, hello there, young agrarians, folks. It's Tad Hargrave here. I'm in Courtney, BC, just standing outside of Locals restaurant where I was hanging out most of the day. Met a friend, enjoyed 2 meals back to back, charcuterie board, and some salad rolls with duck. Anyways, good food, and from local farms. That's one of the purposes of this restaurant. Boy, God bless restaurants like this. So anyways, I've been asked to speak about marketing to you, and particularly this notion of hub marketing. You might call it partnership marketing in a way. And I suppose this is one of the main things I want to see if I can find my way towards communicating to you, is the importance of partnership in marketing, the importance of not trying to do everything solo, not trying to do it by yourself. So many entrepreneurs are really functionally solopreneurs. They do everything on their own, including their marketing. And our marketing and our communities are much stronger if we partner with each other, if we work together to help each other. There's lots of ways this can happen, but it starts with this. It starts with, what is the thing you want to be known for? This is what I call a niche, in business. You can think of it as your brand, your identity, reputation. There's lots of words for it, but what do you want to be known for? What's the reputation you want to have in the community? Because you're going to be known for something. But, I think for a lot of farmers, the thing you're going to want to avoid is being known as, there's another farmer. What do they grow? Food. This is not a strong reputation to have, being known as kind of doing everything for everybody, in every way. And so there's some level of specialization needed within your community, geographically, if that's where you want to be known for. Unless you've got products you want to ship around the world, but that you're known for something. You've got a specific product or process, way of doing a certain product. If you want to do the value-added thing. So that's the first thing. Number one, what is it you want to be known for? And I'd really invite you to think about that long and hard. And it's worthwhile thinking about who else is in the community. What are other people doing in my community? Is the thing we're thinking about doing, is it already been done? Is it being done in the same way? And to work to find some level of specialization, differentiation. Okay, but let's say you say, okay, I think we've figured out what our thing is going to be. Maybe you're doing a CSA. But again, if you're the only person doing a CSA in your community, well, it's golden, it's great. But what if there's like 100 CSAs or 20 or whatever? That's a lot. So then people start to say, well, why should I get this CSA versus this one? Why should I join them versus them? And there needs to be an answer. Why you? Why not somebody else? But let's say you do hone in on something that feels pretty good. Then the next question is, okay, where would the people who are interested in that be found? Where could I find the kind of people to be interested in this? So my mom and her husband, some of you may know them, Laura and Sherwood Botsford, run Sherwood's Forests in Warburg. They're a tree farm. And of course, if your name is Sherwood and you have a tree farm, it must be called Sherwood's Forests. But I remember talking with them early on, and they had a guess. Of course, when you're trying to think about partners early on, there's a technical marketing term, and you may want to write this one down. In case you haven't heard it before, I'll spell it for you. When you're trying to figure out who your potential partners could be to help you spread the word about your business, the practice you're going to engage in is, here's the spelling of it. It's yeah, SSING. Guessing. It's a venerable marketing practice. And you're going to be guessing. And their guesses in the beginning were three things. They thought, okay, good hubs or kind of partners for us would be, number one, landscapers. Number two, the stores that sell trees, or the gardening stores and all this. And third, acreage owners. Now they were right on one of them. The acreage owners did want the trees because the wind breaks, but the gardening supply stores, no good. They didn't take good care of their trees. They could get cheaper trees from the States. They didn't get paid very much. And then the landscapers needed bigger trees. They didn't want the smaller sized trees that they had. But acreage owners, that did pan out. And then they realized, actually what's a really good hub partner for us, or a hub, or it would be the reclamation companies. Yeah, because they want trees exactly that size. So, and of course there have been other, potential target markets that have come up since. But now, once you know, okay, that's who it is. Okay, so number one is, what's the specialization? That's the first thing. Number two is, who are the people that would be interested in that specialization? So for Sherwood's Forest, what's the specialization? Trees. We sell trees. Who would want these kinds of trees? Well, they grow them in a certain way, so they made some guesses. They weren't right about all of it, but they were right about one of them, and then another one came along, and I'm sure others have come along since. Okay, so number one, what's the specialization? Number two, who would be interested in this? Number three, where do we find them? So that becomes the big question. Where do we find the people who would want to buy what we have to sell? This is the question of hubs. Hubs like the center of a wheel. It's the place where all the spokes connect, looking for a wheel around here. You've seen a wheel before. Where all the spokes connect, this is the hub of the wheel. And there are certain people like this. There are certain organizations or places that are hubs. They're very well connected to your people, very well respected by your people. I think about Takota Coen, whom no doubt many of you know with Coen Family Farms, and how Takota started doing this workshop. And I've got a separate video on this. If you go to my YouTube, I think you'll probably type in Tad Hargrave Takota Coen, you'll see a little video. I've done a couple interviews with him. But he has a workshop called Fat, Organs, and Bones. Great workshop, which I attended myself. And he thought about, well, where could I be promoting this? So he found an event, the Resilience Festival. That was one place he did that workshop. I think he also went to health food stores. I'm trying to remember. If you go watch the video, you'll see the different places where he found. So this question, where would you find the people who are interested in what you have to sell? And then you see about making partnerships with those people. You see about making some kind of connection. You see about working together with them. First time I ever went to Ottawa to do a marketing workshop, I'd never been to Ottawa really. I had no discernible connections there, no clear prospects of filling a workshop. Yeah, it's getting dark real quick. But I was able to fill 2-day-long workshops with 60 people each. And how did I do it? How did I get it filled so quickly? Well, because I got connected with a woman, Heather Garrett, who runs a store called Planet Botanics, and she hosted me. And I said, hey, I'll give you $25 per person who shows up through you. And she said, great. And we filled it. 2 workshops with 60 people each, which was great. Both of us made some good money. So, here's the best example I think has maybe ever existed of hub marketing. A Girl Guide selling their cookies. They go door to door knocking, trying to guilt you into buying their cookies. Well, one Girl Guide one year, and now this has been done a number of times since, got the idea, why don't I just take my Girl Guide cookies and set them up outside of a weed shop? you know, where you sell weed paraphernalia at the time. I think it wasn't even legal at the time, just a place where people sold bongs. She sold out in an hour. So that's what hub marketing can look like. So sometimes it's just you go hang out in those places, but it could also be you make a formal partnership. Let's say you sell, there's a woman who sold kiln-dried dog bones. I think the Hutterites did it. Kiln-dried bison bones, not dog bones. They're for the dogs, not the dogs of bones of dogs. But these kiln-dried bison bones. And so what's a good market for those bones? Well, those bones could be used, I guess, for a lot of things. But for pet owners, for dog owners, that's a clear win. So where do they hang out? Well, she knew about a festival that was happening for dog owners. And so she goes to this festival. But when she gets there, she's immediately crestfallen, a bit heartbroken. Why? Because she realizes that, I'm putting this up here. That's not gonna work. She realizes, she shows up with literally 2 garbage bags, plastic garbage bags full of kiln-dried dog bones. And she goes to her table, you know, for this outdoor festival. And people are running around with their dogs, you know, and playing in the park, and dogs are so happy, you know, being with each other. But every one of the booths has, you know, a sign, a display. It's so beautiful. They have like, branded t-shirts. Everyone is so pro, and she literally just has the 2 bags, and she's just, what am I doing here? Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. But she puts her hefty bags full of dog bones, the bison bones, right, on the tables, goes off to register, fill in the paperwork. By the time she gets back, the sun has heated the bags, and now flies are starting to swarm around. So, I mean, she just couldn't feel worse at this point. She pulls the table back into the tent, and it's just standing there so sad and dejected, because now she's not even visible. Now she's hidden in the tent with her bags of bones, the sad bone lady. But somebody pokes their head and says, hey, what do you have going on here? So I have these bones, and oh, well, could I buy one? How much are they? And so she sells him one. He goes, feeds it to his dog, who goes crazy, loves it. And people are like, whoa, what is that? Oh, it's a kiln-dried bison bone. And oh, where'd you get it? Oh, from the sad bone lady over there. Anyways, by the end of the weekend, or maybe it was just a day, she had a lineup, the biggest lineup of anybody, you know. And so I tell that story because she didn't just think, how do I sell these, you know, I'll just put them on the internet, on my website, or I don't know, just go to a farmer's market and open up a stand. You could do that. But for what she was trying to sell them for, that was a much better venue. That was a much better hub. So the exercise I really want you to do, number 1, what's that specialization? Number 2, what's the thing you want to offer? Number 2, who are the groups that are most likely to be excited about it? Pick one of those groups and then ask yourself, who's already connected to those groups? And do a brainstorm on that. Make a list of that. I've already sent some blog posts with some examples of this from past workshops I've done with the Farmers Market Association and various folks, so you can see some examples of what that looks like. This takes some experimenting to figure out what the hubs are, but once you get it, it makes everything so much easier, because then marketing is done in partnership, yeah? And if I were there in the room with you, and boy, I wish we could all be in the room together, you know, right now, or if you were all in a room, if we could be in a room, if we were all in a room together, you know, we could do this exercise all together and in real time and pass papers around to each other. But this is what I invite you to start with. You start with who's that group, who's already connected to them, and you make a list. You make that list as long as you can, or as everyone you can think about. You can post about it on Facebook. You can ask people about it. Where would I find the people who are interested in this? You know, if you there's so many examples. but maybe I'll start wrapping it up. You know, there's 3 levels of marketing you can do. There's a cold, a warm, and a hot. The cold level is where you just try to approach strangers with your stuff and inflict your wares on them, and it doesn't work very well. Second is this warm level, which I'm talking about. Third level is the hot level, and at that level, you have so much word of mouth working for you. You've become adopted by a community, and everyone knows who you are, and if they know if you're looking for that kind of thing, you go to these people. So that's the level to get to. What we want to stop doing is the cold marketing. It just doesn't work that well. What we want to start doing is that warm marketing of partnership marketing, looking for other people where it's a win-win. Hey, we could do this together. You know, maybe you could teach a workshop about something, because for Takota, he realized he was selling the muscle meat, but he wasn't selling the organs, the bones, the fats. How is he going to move this product? Well, he starts teaching workshops about it, about how nutritious they are, how these are, you know, the superfoods. These are so loaded in vitamin A, D, and K, and all this stuff many of you probably know. And so he thought, I'll start teaching workshops. Well, that's a brilliant idea. And then, okay, well, who could host these workshops? So you see how the thought process goes. Who would want to host this? Well, maybe, there's a holistic food store. Maybe there's a nutritionist in town that might actually be interested in hosting this. Maybe, there's some festivals that are going on. They might want to host it. Maybe there's an open-minded doctor, unlikely, but possible. Maybe, there's just some holistic healers. Maybe there's particular health conditions that can be really immediately ameliorated or helped with this, and maybe there's support groups for that, and I could go speak to one of the support groups. Maybe there are people who work on weight loss or weight gain, so you start to come up with all these ideas with that kind of thinking. What is the thing I want to specialize in? What kind of people are interested in this, might be interested, might be drawn to it. Number 3, where would I find them? And then you have partnerships with those people. So anyways, there's so much more to be said here, but I wanted to just give a few examples, a kind of overall idea. Don't be so lonely in your marketing, because also when we do these partnerships, the whole community becomes stronger. Everybody wins from this. We've become, and boy, in the times to come, with how tough it is with farmers and all the troubles that are coming, just thank you so much for what you're doing. What you're doing allowed me to have the meal that I ate tonight. That was so delicious and nourishing, and I got to know that I was spending my dollars to support people like you at a restaurant like this. But if there weren't people like you, there wouldn't be a restaurant like this, and the world would be a much, much poorer place. So let's keep working together. Let's find new, innovative, creative partnerships that maybe never existed before. Let's start building those links. You know where it's going with the industrial agriculture, these high levels. And they don't want the small local farms, but I want the small local farms. I want you to stick around. So let's do it. Let's do what we can. Yeah. All right. Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies, over and out. I look forward to this session and working with you when that time comes. And if you're interested, by the way, in hub marketing, if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a ton of videos on this. I've got dozens of videos. I think there's a playlist at my YouTube channel with a lot of videos about this. We'll end it there. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Thanks for all your good work in the world.